Hello and welcome back to my channel. So imagine a company like Amazon. Every single day, millions of customers are browsing products, placing orders, making payments, writing reviews, and tracking deliveries. Right? That means the company is generating huge amounts of data every second. Now imagine you are a data engineer. Your job is to take all this raw data, store it, process it, clean it, secure it, and finally make it useful for analytics and AI. Sounds complicated, right? This is where Databricks comes into the picture. So in this video, we are going to understand Databricks from absolute zero. We will see what Databricks is, what a lakehouse means, what Delta Lake and Apache Spark have to do with it, what Unity Catalog is, and finally, we will look at this simple end-to-end example. So let's start from the very beginning. So what exactly Databricks? So in very simple words, Databricks is a platform that helps companies work with large amounts of data and build analytics and AI applications. So think of it as a place where data engineers, data analysts, data scientists and machine learning engineers can work with data together. For example, a company might have data coming from mobile applications, websites, sales systems, customer databases, IoT devices, and many other sources. Okay, so their Databricks can help bring this data together and then process and analyze it. But Databricks is not just one single technology, it brings several important technologies and capabilities together. And one of the biggest idea behind Databricks is the lakehouse. So let's understand that. So before understanding the lakehouse, we need to understand two traditional concepts: data lake and data warehouses. A data lake is basically a place where we can store a huge amount of raw data. That data could be structured data like tables, or semi-structured data like JSON files, or even files such as images, logs, and other formats. The advantage is that we can store lots of different types of data. But traditionally, data lakes could become difficult to manage and govern. Now we have data warehouses. Our data warehouse is designed mainly for structured, organized data and analytics. It's very useful for business intelligence and reporting. So traditionally, companies often had something like data lake which store huge amount of raw data and data warehouse for analyzing the structured data. But managing separate system can become complicated, right? You may have to move data between them, and that's where the idea of a lake house comes in. So what is a lake house? A lakehouse tries to bring the best part of a data lake and data warehouse together. So think of it like this: data lake plus data warehouse equal to lakehouse. You get the flexibility and scalability of a data lake while also getting many of the reliability and analytics capabilities we expect from a data warehouse. This is one of the core idea behind the Databricks platform. So instead of maintaining completely separate systems for storing and analyzing data, organizations can build their data platform around a lakehouse architecture. And one technology that plays a very important role here is Delta Lake. So what is Delta Lake? Let's say you have millions or even billions of records stored as files. You don't just want to store those files, you also want your data to be reliable. So for example, imagine you are updating a table and something goes wrong halfway through the operation. Okay? So you don't want your data to end up in a broken or inconsistent state, right? So this is where Delta Lake helps. Delta Lake is an open source storage layer that adds capabilities such as transactions, schema enforcement, and reliable data management on top of data stored in a data lake. And one very interesting feature is time travel. So imagine your table looks like this: version 0, version 1, version 2, and something goes wrong in version 2. So you may be able to go back and access an earlier version of your data, right? So you can think of Delta Lake as adding a layer of reliability and data management capabilities to your data lake. And Databricks uses Delta Lake heavily for building reliable data pipelines and tables. Now we have talked about storing and managing the data, but how do we actually process massive amount of data? That's where Apache Spark comes in. So Apache Spark is a distributed data processing engine. Don't worry about the complicated terminology. Let's use a simple example. Okay, so suppose you have 1 billion rows of data. Okay, and if one computer tries to process everything, it could take a very long time, obviously, right? So instead, Spark can divide the work across multiple machines. So think about having one huge pile of work. Instead of asking one person to do everything, you divide the work among 100 people. Person 1 handles one part, person 2 handles another part, and so on. The work can happen in parallel. That's the basic idea behind distributed processing. And Databricks provides an environment where you can use Apache Spark to process large datasets. And you can work with Spark using technologies such as SQL, Python, Scala, and R. For many data engineers, Python and SQL are especially important. So now let's imagine you have logged into Databricks. What do you usually see? One of the main places you will work is the Databricks workspace. Inside the workspace, you can create and manage things such as notebooks, jobs, data, and other resources, right? A notebook is basically an interactive environment where you can write code and run it. So, for example, you could write Python code to read data, you could use SQL to query a table, you could transform the data and then save the result into another table. But to actually execute this processing, you need computing resources. And that's where compute comes in. You can think of compute as the machines that actually perform your data processing work. So a very simple flow is notebook to commute to process data. And once you have created your pipeline, you don't necessarily want to run it manually every morning. You want automation, right? So that's where jobs and workflows become useful. So imagine your company receives new sales data every night and you want your pipeline to automatically read the new data, clean it, transform it, store the process data, and make it available for reporting. Okay, so you could create a workflow that runs automatically. For example, every night at 2 a.m., read new files, clean the data, transform the data, update delta tables, finish successfully. So this is one of the reasons Databricks is useful for data engineering. Instead of manually running everything, you can build automated data pipelines. But there is another important question. What if hundreds of people are using the same company's data? Who is allowed to access what? How do we track where the data came from? And how do we manage governance? That's where Unity Catalog comes in. So Unity Catalog, think about a large company. There could be thousands of tables. Some tables contain public information. Some contains sensitive business information. Some contains customer information, right? So you don't want everyone to have access to everything. Unity Catalog provides a centralized way to manage data governance and access across Databricks. So for example, you can control who can access a table, who can modify it, who can query it, right? You can also get information about data lineage. For example, where did this table come from? Which pipeline created it? Which tables were used? And where is this data being used? So you can think of Unity Catalog as an important governance layer for your data platform. Now let's put everything we have learned together with one simple example. So let's go back to our Amazon-like company. So imagine we receive sales data from multiple sources. We have website data, customer data, mobile app data, payment data, and delivery data. First, this data arrives in our data lake, right? Then Databricks can process the data using Apache Spark. We can clean and transform the data. We can store reliable tables using Delta Lake. We can schedule the entire pipeline using jobs and workflows. And we can control access and track lineage using Unity Catalog. And finally, the process data can be used by analysts, dashboards, machine learning models, and AI applications. So that's the bigger picture. Now you might be wondering, Databricks sounds similar to Snowflake, right? So what's the difference? Both platforms are used for data and analytics, and there is definitely some overlap. But historically, Databricks has been strongly associated with data engineering, Apache Spark, Lakehouse architecture, machine learning, and increasingly AI workloads. Snowflake has historically been especially well known for cloud data warehousing, SQL analytics, business intelligence, and data sharing. Today, however, the two platforms overlap much more than they used to. So don't think Databricks is equal to only data engineering and Snowflake equal to only analytics. Both platforms have expanded significantly. So if you are a beginner, what should you learn first? I would recommend this order. First learn SQL, then learn Python, then understand basic data engineering concepts. After that, learn Apache Spark, then understand Delta Lake and the Lakehouse architecture, and finally start exploring Databricks, including notebooks, compute, workflows, and Unity Catalog. Don't try to learn everything in one day. Start with the basic data flow, and once that makes sense, Databricks becomes much easier to understand. So that's Databricks in simple terms. So if this video helped you understand Databricks, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which Databricks topic you would like me to explain next. See you in the next video. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.